Hello and welcome to Chapter 218 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing today?
Oh, not too bad. It's Friday. I got a busy weekend ahead of me of 4 recordings and D&D. So,
Ooh,
should be fun. How are
that
you?
sounds like fun. I'm a little tired, not gonna lie. This is recording 3 of the week for me.
Mhm.
Had Marvel Alliance with the guys last night, and that one always runs a little late. And it was the season finale of X-Men '97, so it ran a little later than normal, if I'm being honest with you, for
Yeah.
me. But still enjoyed it. It was quite a fun discussion. I was a little jacked afterwards and watched a couple videos about certain X-Men theories. Just it got me excited.
La
So
la
it,
la
it
la
was a
la.
fun. It was a fun season. You won't get any spoilers from me.
You know
Uh,
what? I'll get to it now that the season's over. I can finally go back and watch 92 and finish those out. From season 2, and then I can get to X-Men 97
and it's good to
eventually.
watch the 97 makes watching the other seasons worth it.
All right,
So
good.
that's basically the best thing I can recommend there. And as far as home life, it's a long weekend this weekend. We had
Good.
Monday off. I had today off and took a little bit of yesterday off as I've been taking care of 2 sick people in the house as Allison
Mhm.
and Oliver are both sick. They're both in the bed right now, asleep. So yeah, it's been. I don't know how I don't have what they have, Joe, because
Knock on wood,
Allison's
sir.
but Allison's the one that never gets sick, and I get sick if
Mm.
something's coming around. Like so, it's shocking that this is like the second time I've ever seen her sick, and myself, like she's never had stomach flu before, so that astonishes me. I had it a
Okay.
few times, so yeah, a couple of them self-induced, if you catch my drift, but a
Uh-huh.
couple of them legit stomach flu. But I'm excited. We have a lot of news here. We have an episode to talk about. Things seem to be picking up for DC a little bit, Joe.
Cool.
A little, and then we see WB groveling at the foot of Disney to be on the same subscription plan as them.
I mean, if anything, that's actually a smart move on their part, but
Yeah,
it's whatever. Yeah.
but we have some Supergirl news to talk about. I'm excited to talk about everything. Let's get the network plugs out of the way first. Of course, we are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 7 shows in total. On Mondays is bi-weekly is Ranger Alliance, and Tuesdays is a walk through the multiverse, and Wednesdays is the Animation Nation, and Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance, and Fridays is Marvel Alliance, and Saturdays is DC Alliance, and Sundays monthly is World's Finest True Believers. Star Wars Alliance goes live on the Geek First YouTube channel Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time, and we go live DC Alliance normally
Whenever.
Friday evenings. We'll say
Yep.
that's what I'm
Just
gonna
say
say.
Friday evenings.
Friday evenings, fluctuating.
It's
Uh,
well,
but
once
but
my
we'll
daughter
be
gets
there.
her license, we can go back to a normal schedule. But right now, I gotta go
Joe
pick her
just
up
Joe just get a
from
little bit
work.
grayer of a beard as when his daughter gets.
It actually points like it punctuates when I have a white shirt on, because usually when I got a black shirt on, it all just kind of blends in. Yeah. You can totally see all my gray.
Gonna add a bit with the driving for sure. I'm already starting to get grayer just from having Oliver. So yeah, I I definitely know that. So yeah, we do still go live on Friday evenings. Just time varies at the time being. Uh, all 3 of those shows also have their own podcast feed. Search DC Alliance, Marvel Alliance, or Star Wars Alliance if you just want DC content, Marvel content, or Star Wars content only. But if you want all 7 shows on GUI Podcast Network, including myself and Joe's individual shows, stay subscribed to the GUA on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a $1 tier and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is basically a tip jar, like we're doing. You want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras. You get your ad-free episodes, early access to episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. Myself and Joe are going through all the DC films through the years. Batman Begins was April's entry. A History of Violence will be May's entry. We're looking forward to getting together to talk about that. It'll be my first time watching, which I'm planning to do this weekend. So I'm excited with 2 of them down for 2 and 3 hour stretches at times for naps recovering. I definitely will have time to watch this film. I'm excited to watch this and talk to this about you with you, Joe. Sorry. We also have the Marvel Alliance guys, Chris and Brent, doing their Tales from the House of X, their favorite Fox Marvel movies. First two were Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2. I think the next one that's they already recorded it was the Wolverine. I'm not sure. I don't think it's
Yes,
up yet.
it's the
Oh,
Wolverine.
it is.
It's not up yet, but
No,
that is the next one.
that is the next one. And yeah, so that's the fun thing with them. They also had their Infinity Saga, over almost 30 pieces of content, all the Infinity Saga from chronological order. You get all those pieces of content. We also have Joe's Multiverse Minutes, where he's doing his Disney deep dives. Bambi has been posted, Joe. I haven't had a chance to listen to that one yet, but I'm sure it's going to be fun with a lot of interesting behind the scenes
A lot of
facts
interesting
and all
behind the
that.
scenes. A lot of, I'm not gonna say a hot take, but my takes on the
Ooh.
movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
So we
Yeah.
thank everyone that's a patron, but if you're not a patron, you can take a quick 30 to 60 seconds to rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice. Greatly appreciate it. It helps other people find the shows, and that's always a good thing. Okay, Joe, we have some news to talk about
Yeah.
today. So, we have Supergirl, the film, getting a release date confirmed and getting a director confirmed, both by Gunn, of course, and a TH article that comes out with this. So, Supergirl will be released on June 26, 2026, and it has the director Craig Gillespie. So, Joe, what do you think about the release date and the director? As I'll look up his IMDb.
Yes, please, because I don't exactly know what he has done off the top of my head anyway. But as for the release date, great summer blockbuster. I'm happy with that. Also, it's my birthday month, so I'll be able to watch that for my birthday.
Also, I just love a good summer blockbuster too, like just a summer
And
superhero
that's the
film.
big, like, yeah, just a popcorn flick where you just go in there, you have a good time. Yeah, I love it. Like, I'm here for it.
So, what Craig Gillespie is known for is Tanya, uh,
Oh,
Lars and the Real Girl,
okay.
Finest Hours, and Fright Night, the
Oh, the newest
2011.
Friday night. Okay.
Yeah. Some other things here. He was executive producer on Pam and Tommy, the documentary
All right.
miniseries, and upcoming. He has Your Friends and Neighbors in pre-production, and he's doing Cruella too. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, so
Did he do the first one, I assume?
I'm not sure. I don't see it here, but again, director. Let's go back one here. It previous. Okay, here we go. He directed Beyonce's Super Bowl 58. What?
Ooh,
This is,
Beyonce.
yeah.
Yay.
Damn it, I'm just trying to see here.
Whatever, it's
Cruella.
Beyonce.
Yeah, he did. He did Cruella. He did
Okay.
direct Cruella. Okay. So why wasn't that there as one of the things he was known for? That's
Oh, because whoever actually puts the known for in IMDb is dumb. Because I think there's been actors I've looked up where, like, for example, like Daniel Craig, I think he should be known for being James Bond, but then like one of the main ones was Cowboys and Aliens.
okay.
Like it's not. That's just an example. Whoever actually puts the known for, it's just for. It almost always seems like it's just for random picks.
I'm always
And
hesitant. I'm always hesitant when there's no action. When I don't see you have any action in your credits to take on something like this. Yeah. I don't see any big time action. Fright Night, maybe was the full. Did you
Friday
watch
Night's a
that?
horror.
Okay. No, I just meant like, was there a lot of action in the horror? If it's horror,
Oh, I don't know because I haven't seen it.
okay, I thought you might have.
No.
Yeah, but I don't see anything here. Nothing action wise. I could be wrong here. This is the time where All in the Game would come in and say he's actually done
Oh,
this.
he did
this
Dumb Money. Okay.
which is some fighting scenes, but I don't see anything like that. Obviously, Supergirl has powers, but still, yeah, I'm sure he can handle it. Gunn wouldn't pick him if it was the case. So this Hollywood Reporter article, Joe, the high-profile movie will fly into cinemas June 26, 2026. DC and Warner Brothers, if Warner Brothers still owns DC at that time, announced Tuesday it is the second film to receive a release date since James Gunn and Peter Safran were brought into the overhaul of DC under a new banner of DC Studios. The first was Superman, which Gunn's currently shooting for a July 2025 release. Filmmaker Craig Gillespie was tapped by Gunn and Safran to shepherd Supergirl, which stars Millie Alcock.
I will say though, you said you're worried about him not directing action.
Yeah.
I Tanya's a lot of action. It takes a lot to swing that billy club to take what's her name's knees.
Oh man.
That's some action.
You're not wrong, dude. And then the figure skating, you got to be able to do that too.
I mean, that is pretty actionly.
The plan is for Supergirl to start shooting this fall, according to insiders.
That's awesome.
So DC has a feature in here for Batman, but
I could have swore because it's not in the notes, but I could have swore James Gunn had said that Supergirl is going to pop up.
That was in this article, I think it is here somewhere, because that was in a little other tweet. It said it was in an article that was released.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's what I said.
Do you think it's going to be Superman, or do you think it's going to be like?
It got to be Superman, doesn't it?
I mean, it doesn't have to be Superman.
Well, if Supergirl's coming right after,
is
TV
Supergirl
show.
The next movie after?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what they just said here. That's the second one, the second one to get a release date. So they've got
maybe Booster Gold.
That's the other possibility, but it got to be Superman then. And again, it would be perfect as an end credit scene for Superman to set up Supergirl. That's why she can't appear in it, and that's not really you know what I mean. So that would be good to be this is what she is at the time.
Maybe crashing to the planet. That who knows?
So yeah, that's pretty cool. And they just talk here a little bit about Mortal Kombat hitting theaters October 24th.
Yay!
Have a goddamn tournament for the love of God.
I think I talked about it in the last review that we did on the network, that the first one was all the setup, the second one was the tournament, and the third one will be the war.
I'm fine with that too, and I don't have to have the tournament from start to end and some good trophy and there's a ceremony. Just try to stay within some boundaries of tournament rules for a little bit. Obviously, when Goro and stuff shit hits the fan, and you need to do tournament's going to go off the rails. I know that, but actually have a tournament. That's one thing I did enjoy about the first one was that there was about time in between. They were exploring the island and. I enjoyed that a little bit more. Maybe it's nostalgia goggles, but
it's definitely nostalgia. But it's one of those things where, you take this new one versus the '90s one, and they had tournaments there, but it.
I'm even thinking of the game too. When you play the game by yourself, you're just going up the ladder in a tournament. That's just why it's stuck in my head. And we're not talking Mortal Kombat, even though they have crossed over. Well,
that's something I can talk about on the walk through the multiverse.
Yeah, there you go, Charles. There you go. So there's nothing else here about this. Again, that's pretty interesting. I haven't watched anything other than Cruella, and I really enjoyed Cruella. I didn't think I was going to watch it like it. Allison wanted to watch it. I was like, yeah, fine. Yep, we'll watch that. And sure, it was. I really enjoyed it. So
Cruella is one I haven't watched it yet either, but it's one I do want to see. And maybe eventually for Disney dives way, way down the line, I might. But that is some logistics I'll have to work out in the future. So I might have to actually just watch it beforehand.
Yeah. And again, this is good news because there's more stuff moving forward. I am more hesitant, or more I don't know. We're not worried because it depends on who gets them, but I'm more confident than ever that WBD is going to sell or be bought at some point. I think before this movie comes out.
You think it's before Supergirl or before Superman?
Yeah, before Joe. They didn't have enough cash to keep. They've had the NBA rights for 40 years. They had an exclusive negotiating window. They put out an offer. The time lapse, NBC came in and doubled their offer, and they don't have the cash to match it, so they're losing their NBA, even though they got all the big stars. They're going to lose them there too. But that was one of their big things with the sports. So they don't have the cash. They're hurting so much. They're just right to be picked. and we get some of these like Amazon and some of these other players going around now, I'm not going to rule out one of them coming in and completely swooping up one, especially with the stock price in the tank too, and the amount of debt they still have is just so. Yeah, but I still think DC Studios will be fine. I still think it'll go on because this you need these attractive pieces like they're doing the Harry Potter thing too. You need those things that when you are selling for the increase the price, so you actually get something for it when you
Yes,
get out of your debt.
true. But I also would worry that if and when they do sell, that the new company will come in and be like, "Hey, we need to do something. We would change this a little bit," you know.
All depends. That all depends on success of
But
Superman.
I feel like we talked about it a few episodes back about how the DC movies and the studio itself is its own separate entity. It's under the Warner Brothers umbrella
Yeah,
and would be sold with them if the company gets sold.
yeah.
But it's separate entity that they can't touch. It's its own thing.
Ideally,
So
now whoever buys it will get DC Studios, and you don't need to adhere to the policy that's here right now, where DC Studios is on its own, operates and does whatever. You could go in and look at books, being like, "You're spending too much money. You're not making enough. We're going to make these changes," like you said.
well, yeah, but
Uh,
they can't. I mean, until a movie hits the theaters, they won't They won't have a book to play with. You know.
100%, and that's why they won't be sold until after Superman, I don't think, because again, they need some. They got a couple wins, but they need a few more wins under their belt, and they need to get more cash and all that. But I do think it's going to be sold. I don't think it's just the stock price went down too far. It's not going to rebound.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
I do think it's going to be right. And then the catalog that they have, a lot of these streamers and a lot of these other places are going to be like chomping at the bit to get that.
See,
So
and that's the big thing. Like they need to, whenever they sell, break off whatever contracts the current WBD has put out there, because you have all of the DC movies, all of the DC animated stuff on other apps right now. It should
and
not be on other apps. They should
I
be on
don't
Max.
and I don't think you can do that. That's the worst thing because that's what when
Well, just not break, but like
I
they
can't
don't
remember
renew
his
the
name now.
contract.
Who's the one that was prior to Zaslav?
Uh,
Oh my god, I can't remember his name.
Not Hermana.
No,
No, it
like he
was
was behind the scenes. The guy I can't remember his name now. He like was big with the HBO Max. Uh,
I don't
I
remember.
can't remember his name now, but yeah, he said the same thing. He wanted to, but he was waiting for these contracts to lapse so he could put all the content there and try to put the apps in the other countries because they had so many
Okay.
deals. So, and as Zaslav doubled down because they need short-term cash, so they'd have
Yes.
to wait again. So it's kind of they're getting screwed
And who
over. The
knows how
people
many? Well, plus what I think a month ago they just took off a ton of the animated movies. Which why do that?
because they're going to
Why?
give them somebody else because someone's going to pay them cash right
But
now
I
for them,
understand
and
that.
they're
But
not
like,
being watched enough to justify having them on. You already got the people in that wanted to come in to watch these. Now you're not getting
yeah,
new
you're not
fans, of
getting
course,
attracting people. Sure.
but again,
Yeah.
it's just the money of it. You're just
It just
because when you're short
it
on cash, when you have cash flow problem, Joe, you
yeah.
sacrifice
You sell
anything
what you
to
can. Yeah.
you're robbing Peter to pay Paul essentially, and that's you get your trouble of we can't put in our app in different markets, blah blah blah. It's very frustrating because they always make terrible decisions. Uh,
Yeah.
but on that note, let's take our first ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe. We got some news to wrap up now before we talk about the Dead Boy Detectives. Actually, when we get to that news point in our news, we'll talk about the Dead Boy
Yeah. I
Detectives
figured that's
episode
what
too.
we were gonna do.
Yeah. I was supposed to get back on after I watched Dead Boy Detectives and put that in there, but I only finished watching the Dead Boy Detectives literally like 25 minutes before we went live. So, yeah. It's been a busy week. There's so many things to watch now.
I get it.
And yeah,
I'm behind too. I got things I need to watch for the weekend that I haven't done yet.
I got
How about
Spider-Man to beat for a third time too, but I'm stuck at one part that I just hate. It's just like walking around this person. I hate that part. So yeah, we have IMAX announced that Superman is being filmed entirely for IMAX. They put out a little post, well, combination of the Superman poster meme, which I did laugh at. It's something I had to double check. I was like, is that real? or is that another meme? But no, it is
I
real.
mean, it's a meme, but it is real. So
I again, I don't know. It's starting to grow on me a little bit. Uh, I don't know. I still wish it was a bit better quality, but I will
we'll
reserve for TV. Reserve for
I'll say
TV.
exactly. We're gonna
Yeah,
get a like a TV spot
screen
or
or screen. Sorry,
something.
reserve for the screen.
We'll see something probably within 6 months.
Because again, if I
Before
go
before the end of the year, we'll see that suit in action.
like what I did with X-Men '97, I was going in hesitant about the animation style because of a couple little clips I've seen. And then after watching the first episode, I was completely apologetic, saying like I thought that it was going to be terrible. Like I was completely wrong. It was awesome. So
That just
it,
reminds me of Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, because we had just gotten Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, and that animation and those graphics were amazing. Was it Wind Waker or was it?
no, I
Maybe
think you're right. The Wind Waker
well, no.
or Majora's
I
Mask.
think it was maybe Twilight came after Wind Waker. Either way, I think Twilight came after Wind Waker, and we were supposed to get this like next gen thing for GameCube, and then we got this like cartoony Wind Waker thing, and I'm just like, I mean, it's a Zelda game, so I'm gonna play it, but the fans. Like the response online was like, "This is terrible. Why were they kiddified Link?" But you played Wind Waker, and man, that game is so
Joe
much
is always up in the
it's
top. It's
one of
always
the
up in the
best games
top
ever.
games on the GameCube. It's always up in the top Zelda games. And again, like I said,
So good.
I always never. That's one thing about me. That's one thing I hate about like the entertainment, the scoopers. I don't care ever about saying, "Yeah, I was wrong, completely wrong."
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm
Like,
happy.
yeah. So like
So
I've learned from way back when, because I bought that game when it literally midnight Walmart picking it up. Like it's one of those things where it's just like, you know what? I don't care about what people think. Like I'm gonna give my own opinion. I'm gonna play it myself, watch it myself, enjoy it myself, and then I can make my opinion and go from there.
you know when that happened to me before, pre-internet, well, pre-social media, Paper Mario. I
Exactly.
thought a commercial for that, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like I thought we were getting something like we had before,
Mm-hmm.
and amazing. So yeah, like I said, I will wait and see. This could look fantastic in IMAX. So excited for this as well. I'm excited for this as this is essentially a little tiny bit of an in-your-face Joe too, as Superman and Lois. Will the final season will air on this fall on Thursday nights, which is convenient for our move to Fridays. I will say because if were on Mondays, it'd be pretty rough to wait the whole weekend.
Yeah, it would.
So I'll be excited. It'll be obviously be a little bit of a squeeze for myself and Joe to get the episode in before our Friday going live. But
More than
I'm
likely, I'll
excited.
be watching it like literally before we start recording.
Same. If you like with the Dead Boy Detective, but I'll be excited for it. And the sucky thing about these shows for DC, I hope it changes with the DCU, is there's no like heavy spoilers videos about it, no like new Rockstar, no breakdowns. Like Marvel gets one for everything from animation to TV to movies. DC don't even get it for like TV shows. So I'm hoping
Yeah,
like with the Penguin they'll do that.
I
Uh,
think so. That's the thing, though. Penguin's got some hype behind it, so I guarantee that they will be, grabbing at that as the
And
episodes come out.
connecting too, because it's
Yep,
supposed to go like
exactly.
the Batman into Penguin into the Batman too. So
But Superman Lois is one of those shows where people enjoyed it probably in the beginning, but then probably kind of fell off. Um, because I mean, the shows that are popular, Fallout, X-Men, The Boys, Gen V, like those shows are gonna get the treatment on the YouTube. The I'm not the scoopers, but the reviewers are gonna be grabbing it. They're gonna be making content. Superman Lois I think season 2, when it was having all those breaks, those long breaks, kind of
don't
it
even,
hurt everybody.
it really frustrated me. But again, I'm excited to see this here. There is a little breakdown about Superman Lois. I'll get to it here after all these other terrible things they have.
Hey,
Uh,
hold on now. They've got
Good cop,
the
bad cop. I'm
the
sure that's
new
going to be
library,
fantastic.
the new librarians coming out after Superman Loris or Librarian's Next Chapter, and I love the
Trivial
Librarians.
Pursuit, Scrabble. They're game showing it up. They're going low cost, high profit. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing here breaking down about Superman. It was just your new shows.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's going coming. It doesn't have a time in the actually. Yes, it does. So
eight.
Thursdays at 8 to 9.
Yep, and then
Okay.
Librarians is right after that. So I'm looking forward to the Librarians. I was a fan of the movies with Noah Wild, I think it's who it was, and then the 4 seasons on TBS with Rebecca Romaine and a couple other actors whose names I can't remember off the top of my head, but like love that
What
series.
is the concept about it? Because I've never seen that before in my life.
So it's basically this guy Noah Wild, who he becomes the librarian. He's basically a low rent Indiana Jones
Okay.
for the modern age.
Okay.
And he works. He is the librarian. He has to basically go out and uh, protect all of these magical items. Like in the library is Excalibur that it's just a sentient sword that he practice sword fights with, and so he's having a fun time with it. And then there's like other items, like I think the Spirit of Destiny was one of the movies. The show would have very similar concepts. Did you ever
Okay.
see Warehouse 13?
Nope.
Okay, I was thinking that's a similar concept as well, where it's just this, you're going out, like the episodes are themselves, or they're going out, they're grabbing these artifacts. The artifacts
I've seen
themselves
another show with
do
that too. I've seen
things.
another show. Maybe I can't remember what it is now. I did see
Yeah, so
another
like
show.
I'm excited for it. I enjoyed the show when it came out. Like I said, it got 4 seasons and then it ended, and I was a little sad. We're getting more here, which I'm really happy for. Maybe even be talking about it on Walk to the Multiverse. I don't know.
Ooh.
I need content.
Yeah.
Like I need
You
content.
you can have a wide range to pull from for content. That's
Oh
for
yeah, I do.
sure.
I know I do.
Just start reviewing the Fast and Furious movies.
I don't think I won't. I got episode 100 coming up. I gotta think of
You
something
did
good.
you did Walking Dead, so yes, I don't underestimate you doing anything.
Well, but Walking Dead was a comic though.
Yeah, that's true too. Uh, so we have Scott Snyder talk a little bit more about his visit with James, the guy on Superman set. The thing I can say without giving anything away or without any spoilers is everybody involved in this is a true fan of Superman, of the legacy of the character, and of the comics in a really big way. That's just nothing but a good thing when someone says that.
Yeah, well, should be a good thing. Yeah.
Well, it's their fan, like they're fans of the
Wait,
comic. He's
sure, but like, so was the Flash. Was, oh, this is the best cinematic movie ever, and
yeah. I this isn't as bad as not like the movie's already out and they've watched it. They're just saying that
sure,
that they're hyped. Like I did not like that so many people were saying that Flash was the best thing since sliced bread. I remember saying that too. Like Tom Cruise coming out and saying like,
Tom
that's a bit
Cruise of
much.
all people,
That's a
right?
bit much. Like
Like WB,
so
what were you
weird.
trying to do with
It's
Tom
so
Cruise?
weird,
Because that
right?
obviously didn't pan out.
It
So
was so weird.
I mean, maybe the Church of Scientology was trying to help WB, and I'm not gonna say too much because I don't want them knocking on my door. So
You don't want to get us canceled for talking about Scientology here, especially when we got a new synopsis for Creature Commandos, Joe.
that's true. We do have one.
Which again I'll read it here. From executive producer and writer James Gunn, Creature Commandos is the upcoming Max original animated event series based on DC characters and produced by DC Studios and Warner Brothers Animation, which follows Amanda Waller as she forms a Black Ops team out of monstrous prisoners. Prepare for an in-depth look from Rick Morales, supervising producer, and Balak Gibbs, supervising director, into this artistry and creative process behind this highly anticipated series, kicking off a new era of storytelling in the DC universe. First
Very
thought I
cool.
had when reading that synopsis: will Viola Davis voice Amanda Waller? Because he said the same people in animation will do live action,
That's
and
true.
he also said that Viola Davis is going to do a Waller show and will be coming over. So she has to be voicing Amanda Waller,
And
doesn't she?
By that logic, yes.
Liar.
They should have just. He should have not said that.
Yeah.
Like he and same time we said this already. Peacemaker, Waller should have just been like, all right, these two are the official end of the DC EU. Done. No more after that. Everything else from this point on is now the DCU. But I also understand, like, you just had an extremely successful show with Peacemaker. You had an extremely successful movie with the Suicide Squad. You know, you want to the Suicide Squad. I said
no, extremely successful.
Yeah,
Let's pump the brakes on that a little bit.
Successful.
Well, that made dog shit in the theater.
Yeah, because it came out, but everybody loved it. Everybody loved it.
That doesn't matter to
that doesn't matter in my eyes.
That does not matter to these cunts who's running WB at all.
The enjoyment of the movie, the fact that people are still talking about the movie,
enjoyed it.
Is success in my eyes. Like, people love that movie.
I'm just talking about those idiots that have run WBD. That's all. When they see the money. But again, it was all about the day and date release too. That was the same time that movie was released on Max, the same time that it was released in theaters. So you can't really count it. Just critical success, which is 100% fact. 100% fact. Is one of the higher rated movies for DCEU critically, I think. So yeah, and again, I really enjoyed that. I'm excited to see what James Gunn is going to do going forward here. I'm just interested, like you said, he probably shouldn't have said that, just because you don't need to waste one of Viola Davis's Amanda Waller appearances voicing this. Like, you could have somebody that gets it pretty close to her voice, but not like a kind of her own as well.
Yeah, but I also understand what he's trying to do with if you voice the character in animation, you are going to be in live action. He was trying to keep everything like cohesive, and I appreciate that.
I do. But
at the same time, it's not like you can always have that, like with Marvel, the MCU, and the What If. Like, you have maybe half of the characters being voiced by the live action versions, because you're not going to be getting Chris Evans
or Tom Holland
Jr. or Tom Holland to come, or Scarlett Johansson.
They're not going to have the time
and voice their characters in the show. So,
and guess what? We don't care. Still watch the show. Is not
exactly like that's all I'm getting at. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about it, but like, you could tell me that these characters are connected to the DCU, and I'll believe you. You don't have to be like Frank Grillo is Rick Flag Sr., and he'll be Rick Flag Sr. in live action. Like, you don't have to say that. Like, I believe you.
It can be. You know what? It can be, Joe. It can be a nice perk if they do that. Like, it can be nice. It'd be a nice, cool thing. Like, oh, cool, he voices and he's. But you don't have to like stick to that. That's the kind of thing, because it does. You will run into problems with schedules down the line, especially for more popular actors, to get them in and get their voice work done. So that will cause delays, and that's the kind of stuff we don't want to have happen here. And there's a new logo for Creature Commandos as well.
It looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it as well. I think it'll be good on the intro. I think the intro is going to be fun for this film. Series, sorry.
Yep.
Brain starts working on. So we have an upcoming. There's this thing here that I found online. I'm not sure how accurate it is, from the Film Television Industry Alliance, saying that Booster Gold series is in development, and the shoot date is July 8th, 2024. So in a couple of months. Project summary: Booster Gold is a superhero appearing in American comic book published by DC Comics. So there's not much of a summary here.
Yeah, that's I don't know where you found that, because that's got like everybody's numbers all starred out.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
I do think maybe this could be join get access to projects filming near you. So last updated on March 13th, and that's when the story came out too. So yeah, I would love to see this. I do think, because of the next little thing, and I put it there on purpose, this is who I think is going to be playing Booster Gold.
I think so.
Yeah, Chris Pratt, and if he'll return as Star-Lord or join James Gunn's DCU. Maybe both. How about both? Let's do both. I think it's 100% both.
Jeez. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I like Chris Pratt. I think he'd be a great Booster Gold. Like his mannerism, his acting would work perfectly for Booster. Just because he worked with James Gunn doesn't mean you have to come over. Like,
but I also understand this if, like, as directors, they work with these people. He worked with
do.
James Gunn on three
Well,
films.
3 films, a couple specials, and I also get like you're gonna go to the people like
Yeah.
you've already had dealings with working with them. You know how they work. You know how reliable they are. So yeah, I can understand him reaching out to Pratt and be like, hey, you wanna maybe?
The weird thing for me is it's going to be hard for me not to see Star-Lord. I would have been 100% on board with this. Like, this would have fit
See, I don't.
perfectly pre-Star-Lord too. I think this would have been like, it's going to be a little hard for me not to see Star-Lord. Just in some of the mannerisms, I think they're going to be similar to Booster. So I'm
I
hoping.
think you're right, but I think if he does the clean shaven, I think he'll be fine.
I think you could be right. I do think he's a good enough actor to be able to pull this off, and I'll be excited to have him.
I mean,
in
he's
DCU.
he's Mario, and he's Garfield. It's fun. He's not changing his voice for either one of those.
That's true. So before we get into the Dead Boy Detectives, let's take our final ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, we got a little news about the Dead Boy Detectives too. James Gunn shares his support for it on Instagram, just sharing a picture with the Dead Boy Detectives. But it's not looking good for the series, which dropped 61% in viewing hours in week 3. After 14 days, the series has picked up 8.8 million views in total.
Yeah,
they're not going to be season 2.
Yeah, I hope it. I hope there will be. I don't. I think you're right though, because Netflix. I mean, I had said it last time. One Piece was the one that after like 2 weeks they renewed it, but normally, and I think even Sandman was 2 or 3 weeks. Lock and Key was a month.
They'll sacrifice healthy
longer
shows that they think won't
which
go.
Is totally stupid.
So when there's a show that isn't
I would not
successful,
be surprised one bit if at the month mark they're like, yeah, we didn't get the numbers we wanted, so bye.
You had a good run,
but then again, there are shows that aren't.
I wouldn't rule it out, and this doesn't cast, besides the cool CG of the ghosts and stuff. This doesn't cast a lot to
wait till next episode.
So yeah,
I'm 3 episodes in. You're 2. The 3rd episode was wicked.
Okay, I'm really excited. So we're going to talk a little bit about the 2nd episode of the season. I guess we'll call it the Case of the Dandelion Shrine.
Yeah.
So Joe, what do you think about this episode?
So I said last week, this episode definitely made me feel like it made me feel more Doom Patrol with it. The dandelion sprites that we get, them alone, had to push it to the Doom Patrol like scale. But it's also one of those episodes where I really enjoyed it. Was this the episode where they came across the this is the one where they come across the Cat King.
Yeah.
And
he's not creepy was at all.
No, I mean, no, he's fine.
So yeah, I kind of enjoyed this episode as well. It was bumpy to start for me, but it settled in, and I really enjoyed the stuff with the Pixies. I thought that was fun. But the thing that's really hooking me so far is the Lost and Found going after the boys. Like, I'm really interested in that. The fact that like they essentially work for death, like wrapping up these ghosts and stuff that are walking around. I love that. I hope there's more Death. I hope she becomes like a main villain for these boys.
Well, the thing is, Death isn't actually a villain.
No, but like she doesn't want them walking as ghosts.
Well, but she doesn't know about them, though. That's the thing. Death herself does not know about them.
Like they had to hide when she came for
exactly.
So if they see her, if she sees them,
she'll be like, what are you guys doing? We gotta go. Like,
So
which
yeah,
I could kind of see. This is my speculation. I can kind of see that being maybe the season finale, where it's like, hey, you guys aren't supposed to be here. You got to go where you're supposed to go, and they get separated. Um, but no, like this one, Nico was taken over by these dandelion sprites. What is her name? The Crystal is like helping her out, and they actually do kind of like figure out what's going on. I will say Jenny, the butcher, the landlord, she's cool. I like her. Plus, she's cute. Just saying. Yeah,
you're not wrong, and I think the landlord chick is interesting too in this. I do like her
that's what I'm saying.
reactions.
She she's funny.
Yes,
Because she obviously doesn't know what's going on with the boys. And then Crystal herself
she's gonna
is
know.
being weird. And
I do like how at the end the other girl, I can't remember her name now,
Nico,
Nico, she can see
because she
the
had near
boys.
death experience. Yeah,
Yeah, I did like that. That was nice. And the witch trying to get revenge and the boys. That's another interesting
that's
subplot
gonna
that
be
I
a
hope
through
to
line because
see.
it happens in the third episode too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hope to see that continue on in the third episode,
Yeah.
and she seems like a real thorn in their side.
Oh yeah.
Uh, the other thing, like I was talking to you about before we started the review here, the CG for the ghosts, the effects,
Looks good.
chef's
Yeah, it's
kiss,
really
looks
good.
fantastic. Looks like this makes like again, this stuff makes me like get a fiery rage for some of the bullshit I saw and stuff like Titans. Like it really pisses me off when you get stuff.
HBO
Even
money, and
no,
they had
yeah,
terrible
like
graphics.
even like you get the fucking ghosts. Sorry, pardon my French and I cursed here, but you get these sex ghosts in Doom Patrol. Those look fantastic, and you can't make Beast Boy look anywhere half sensible too. You make him look a man bat in the movie, show in the
Yeah,
finale. Sorry, it's just very frustrating at times when you think about
I
overall
feel like
DC.
they put too much money into their costumes and not enough into actual story for
I
Titans.
think you kind of hit the nail right there. I don't think they knew what they were doing at
Because
times. Yeah.
costumes looks wonderful.
Basically
Everyone's costume looks great.
make a gritty Teen Titans is what they I think were told or
Yeah,
thought they were
and
told.
they did, but they didn't do a lot with it.
So one thing I told you guys, hi Iggy.
Hey, what's up, Iggy?
One thing I told you before we started recording, the Pixies reminded me so much of Doom Patrol. Like when they were caught and in the jar, like I was like, I looked at myself. I was like, am I watching a Doom Patrol episode? It's the first thought I had. I'm just missing Cliff yelling curse words at the Pixies. But
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I did really enjoy the Pixies when they came out. I was shocked. I did not expect to
When they
see
just
them
kind of
like
walk
that.
out.
I thought they were going to be like he's like snakes in here, and they were coming out, and then they were going to jump into the medium there. I
Crystal.
love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Crystal and perfect little
Charles gets them. Yeah.
Charles, perfect
No, like
little.
this show again. I'm 3 episodes in. I'm loving. I think it's 8 episodes total,
Yeah,
maybe
you're
10.
right.
I don't remember.
It's eight. It's eight.
Um, I'm loving it. Like
It's
I'm
enjoyable, Joe. I
happy. I'm
must say.
taking my time with it too.
Same,
That's the big thing.
same. I enjoyed it this evening. I just sat back, glass of water, nice evening. I sat out in a nice patio chair and watched this. It was nice. I really enjoyed like how the pace really picked up, and I did enjoy like how uncomfortable Edwin was. Not only about how what happened with the Cat King, but bringing it up to anybody as well. I did
Mm-hmm.
enjoy that. Do you think Superman and Supergirl will pass 500 million?
500 million. I'm gonna say yes.
I certainly hope so, Iggy. I
Superman probably
certainly
will.
hope so.
Supergirl will be
Closer.
close.
Superman better. Superman better dang.
I think
Yeah.
Supergirl might hit 6.
Ooh.
I can see 6.
And I'm hoping 7 or 8 for Superman.
Yeah,
Not
Superman
gonna
should be
lie.
higher than that. Yeah.
So hoping hard in 666, which was the previous one. That's you can always just hope to do
Their
better
scale
than
was
one before you.
666.
666 or 660 something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
667, something like that. So again, we'll be talking about episode 3 next week. I'm excited. I might have to watch that this evening. I was debating between. Well, I was going to watch History of Violence at some point this weekend too, but I think I can watch that tonight.
You should watch
for the next-
History before you watch. I mean,
That's
we
true.
got a week.
Actually,
Okay?
you know what? It's kind of really good to watch it Friday evening coming into the. So yeah,
Exactly.
good call.
So it's fresh.
Good call. So we got a little bit of news left, Joe, before we talk about the Smallville retro recap. Hold on here. So Mark Strong has been cast in the Penguin, and it was revealed by his trainer on social media, which is hilarious. So obviously a double DC legacy casting
Yeah.
from Sinestro and Green Lantern, from oh my god, Dr. Savannah in Shazam. What character do you think he could be playing in the Penguin? Because I have my choice. It's the last one of the four here.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic.
I don't know who Rex is. Rex Calabrese. I like the name doesn't ring a bell to
I'm
me.
assuming another one of those players for the.
I mean, it's
like
he's
mob
a
style.
yeah, he's a mob member, sure, but like same with Mario Falcone. But like, I don't think he'll be Zaz. I don't. Not that he couldn't play a good Victor Zaz. I just
Mob
don't think
boss and Rex the Lion Calabrese was a mob boss in Gotham underworld before the vigilante Batman was known to exist.
Okay.
I mean, the Lion ruled the city before he was pushed out by Carmine Falcone's gang.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, when Batman began taking streets back from the criminals, the Roman 2 went into hiding, allowing for the mob boss to fill the void, the Penguin. So yeah, that be partly how Penguin takes control.
Then maybe so out of the four, I could see that being the more possible. Not that he couldn't be Hugo Strange. I think he'd make a great Hugo Strange. But I don't think he'd be Zaz.
I don't think I would like for him to be Hugo Strange, but even just hearing you and having chat with you about it, I don't think he plays either one of the bottom two characters, Victor Zaz or Hugo Strange, in the Penguin. He would play that in the Batman. So I don't see them.
If he is only in like one scene here, and then he shows up. Oh well,
if that's the case, yes. But I'm going on. He's in a few episodes. Like he's an actual character. Okay. That's what I'm basing that on. So I think he's either Mario Falcone.
That's why I think he's probably Rex. I mean, he could be Mario, but I don't know if because Mario Falcone was he? Yeah, thank you. Just one of those two being mob bosses that could come in, be rivals for Penguin, trying to fill in the void that Carmine left when he got killed. Obviously,
he's the son of mob boss Carmine Falcone and the brother of Alberto Falcone and Sophia Falcone.
Okay, so he was in Dark Victory then.
He was in Gotham.
The character was
got played by James Carpinello, and another version of the character played in the third season of the Arrowverse series, Batwoman, portrayed by Marcio.
I didn't watch season 3. Damn. Then in that case, I don't think he'll be Mario because I believe Mark Strong was older than the other. I can't remember.
Yeah, so I think Mario Falcone gets eliminated. I think it probably would be if those were the four choices. It could be a different one off the board.
Could be, but those are the choices that were given.
Yeah. So again, I like Mark Strong. I think he's fantastic in anything. I've seen him,
dude. I loved him in the Kingsman movies. Loved him in those movies.
He was freaking awesome in Green Lantern.
He was.
Let's call it spade here. Green Lantern wasn't the greatest movie. He was not anywhere near the reason. He's the reason that it wasn't a terrible movie that you had to get up and leave.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds didn't do a terrible job.
No, he didn't. It's just the script did it, and that's because it was butchered to hell. Because there was a cool thing where the ring flies by Superman and everything, but yeah, no. Can't do that cool, Joe. So, one final thing to wrap up this night, Joe, our Smallville retro recaps. Talking about episode 18. 18?
18.
Yeah, Spirit. So, do you remember this episode, Joe?
So I do not. When I started watching it, like I remember Lifehouse. I do remember that. Like as soon as they started playing, I'm like, oh yeah, Lifehouse was in this. Did not remember like they're at prom. Okay, cool. We still have 4 episodes to go, but okay, let's go. Let's have prom here. Nope, I didn't remember really a lot of this. Especially and then when Clark is like, oh, I had this dream, like when I was at my freshman year watching all the seniors go in to prom, standing outside. And I'm like, no, dude, you went to prom. You went to prom with Chloe, which you shouldn't have because you both are freshmen. And prom is supposed to be junior, senior, but whatever. You're a TV show. You do your thing. In America, at least around here, proms were
we also had our prom
senior,
in May.
juniors.
We had our prom in May and graduated in June.
Yeah, that's normal. It's like around here, we just had it either end of April or beginning of May.
Okay. So
and then graduated end of May, June.
I do remember this, Joe. I remember not liking this, being frustrated, especially going from the previous episode, which was an absolute like banger. Like someone told me this was their favorite in the series. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I can see it. This episode, it was so slow. I got vibes of like trying to pull off like Carrie a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. And
I would say the biggest moment was when the premise of the episode is this girl gets killed. She dies next to a field of kryptonite. Well, she gets in a coma.
Yeah.
If you crash your car like that, you are dead. I'm sorry.
She's essentially being Doctor Strange and flying around the astral plane.
Yeah. And she like jumps into people's bodies and then she inhabits some.
The Martha, when she takes...
I can't roll my eyes hard enough at that one. That was Martha. I mean, Annette O'Toole did a wonderful job portraying a teenager, but like that was terrible.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing here is at the end, like Dawn had taken over Chloe. Chloe or Dawn as Chloe is going to burn down the school because they all made fun of her. Dawn. Clark comes in and saves Chloe. And Chloe sees that the green meteor rocks hurt Clark. That's a big moment. And
she's just gathering these breadcrumbs of information about Clark because
once Alicia showed her who Clark was, she is now in the right place, right time, seeing everything for what it is.
These are things that she would have missed if she didn't see.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, I did like that as well, Joe. It's just another nice little bit of information that is used in a little bit at the end of the season. I think the season,
I think it finale. Is, or even like beginning of next season. I can't remember where.
I think the season finale when like the bombs are going off or something, and she's not sure. He saves her, but that could be middle. You're actually right. It's towards next season.
Yeah. It's been again. Up to season 4, I remember a lot. Season 4, it's hit or miss. After season 4, it's literally just spotty. Like certain episodes I remember, but that's about it. Same. Oh, then the big thing is we get the death of Bridget.
Yeah, Bridget, that was a little anticlimactic because it's just dead there at opening the thing. But it does jack up the stakes a little bit because they were looking for her a few episodes ago, and she was off the grid. That you couldn't even find any trace of her.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me though, because I had mentioned this at the very beginning when we started watching this, is, and I know I missed a couple episodes. I think the one in particular is when all of them went over to Italy, or wherever they went.
Yeah, Japan.
I'm pretty sure that was a big
Japan
moment in. Thank you, Japan. The big moment in the why is what's Jensen Ackles' character?
Jason Teague.
Why is Jason going with his mom now? We see a lot of that here. Like obviously, we get revealed that him and his mom killed Bridget and hid the body on Lex's property, and he got rid of it. We also see him seeing Lois and Clark, I'm sorry, Lana and Clark dancing. First off, dude, you are in college. Why are you at a prom and that you weren't invited to?
Why are you being creepy about it?
Yes. But it also, because I had felt that, like I had the way I remembered it was that he just switched like that.
Yeah.
And
But
all
no,
of a sudden,
it was.
no, it actually was a build-up.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Joe. The only thing that I remember from him, like I didn't forgot all this build up. The only thing I remember about him going evil was like him holding the shotgun in the Kent's house, ready to kill him.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, how did we? I was when we were watching this. I'm like, how did he get to this point? Like, when's the switch? And now we're getting the breadcrumbs.
Yeah, we
being
are
laid
slowly getting the switch. So while it still isn't the greatest, it is legitimate. So
They
I
also
can
talked
I can
about-
take away my disdain for it.
They also talked about on Tocqueville the fact that Jensen didn't have a lot of time and schedule, so they had to shoot quick with him for what they got. So it kind of
Gotcha.
makes sense why we felt like it was a little sped up too at the time.
Well, also, I think he's at this point, he's auditioning for other things. Like he's about ready to leave here to go be on Supernatural for 15 years. Like he's about ready to make his character and make his money. So
forever. Syndication.
Literally. Exactly. I mean, I still see it on TNT every once in a while. Like,
not shocked by that. TNT will grab the syndication rights.
Yeah, they got that and Charmed and a couple other things that they show.
You have Seinfeld all the time.
All the time, yeah.
So, Joe, I think that pretty much wraps up the episode. The night. I guess we'll see you back here next week, listeners. Not sure what news we'll have on deck, but I know we'll have another episode of the Dead Boy Detectives.
Yep.
So until
also
then,
not sure what time. We'll figure that out.
We'll be there. See you, listeners.
Bye, y'all.